If you had to start from zero today, no money, no savings, no connections, could you still become wealthy? Take a second and really think about that, because most people believe that building wealth requires money. They think you need a high-paying job, a rich family, or some kind of lucky break. But the truth is, none of that is required. In fact, many of the wealthiest people in the world started with absolutely nothing. No advantages, no shortcuts, just a decision to do things differently. And that's exactly what this video is about. This is not about getting rich overnight. This is not about hype or unrealistic promises. This is a real step-by-step blueprint to build wealth from zero in 2026. Let's start with the biggest misconception. Most people think money creates wealth, but that's not true. Habits create wealth. Systems create wealth. And the way you think about money determines whether you keep it or lose it. Because here's what usually happens. Someone starts earning more money. Maybe they get a better job. Maybe they start a side hustle. And for a moment, things feel better. But then something strange happens. Their lifestyle starts to increase. They spend more. They upgrade everything. They feel richer, but they're not actually building wealth. They're just spending more. And eventually, they end up in the same place. Stuck. This is called lifestyle inflation. And it's one of the biggest reasons. People never become financially free. So if money alone doesn't create wealth, what does? The answer is simple. Control. Control over your money. Control over your decisions. Control over your habits. And before you can grow money, you have to learn how to control it. That's why step one is not making more money. It's fixing your foundation. Because without a strong foundation, no amount of money will help you. It will just disappear faster. So let's talk about your financial foundation. This is where everything begins. And it starts with something very simple. Awareness. Most people don't know where their money goes. They guess. They assume. But they don't actually track it. And that's a problem. Because if you don't know where your money is going, you can't control it. So here's what you need to do. For the next 7 days, track every single dollar, every coffee, every subscription, every small purchase. Write it down. Use an app. But don't skip anything, because this step alone will change the way you see money. First, it might feel annoying. It might feel unnecessary. But by day 3, you'll start noticing patterns. By day 5, you'll start questioning your spending. And by day 7, you'll see the truth. And here's what most people realize. They're not broke because they don't earn enough. They're broke because they spend without thinking. Now, once you have awareness, the next step is control. And this is where things start to change. You don't need to cut everything. You don't need to live like a monk. You just need to make better decisions. Start with one thing. Cut one unnecessary expense. Just one. Could be daily coffee. Could be eating out. Could be a subscription you don't even use. This might not seem like a big deal, but it is. Because this is where discipline begins. And discipline is what builds wealth over time. Next, you need a simple system. Not something complicated. Just a basic structure for your money. Think of your income like this. A portion goes to your needs. A portion goes to your wants. And a portion goes to your future, your savings. If you don't separate your money, it all gets spent, every time. So even if you start small, even if it's just 5%, start saving. Make it automatic. Make it consistent, because consistency beats intensity. Now let's talk about something important, debt. Because for many people, debt is the biggest obstacle to building wealth. Not all debt is bad, but most consumer debt is credit cards, unnecessary loans, things that don't produce income. If you're trying to build wealth while drowning in bad debt, you're going in the wrong direction. So your goal is simple. Reduce it, control it, and avoid creating more of it. Now at this point, you've done something powerful. You've created awareness. You've started controlling your money. UVE built a basic system, and this is where most people stop. But this is only the beginning, because once your foundation is strong, now you're ready for the next step. And this is where things start to accelerate. Increasing your income, because there's only so much you can save, but there's no limit to how much you can earn. And in today's world, you don't need permission to earn more. You don't need a degree. You don't need connections. You need skills. Skills are the fastest way to go from zero to financially stable. Think about it. If you can provide value, you can make money. And there are certain skills that are in demand right now. Skills like writing, design, marketing, sales, video editing, content creation. These are skills you can learn online for free or very cheap. And once you learn them, you can start earning. This is where your first real opportunity begins. Not by waiting, but by building something. Start small. Take one skill, focus on it, practice it, improve it, then find someone who needs it. A business, a creator, company. Offer your service. Get your first client. Earn your first dollar. Because once you make your first dollar on your own, everything changes. You stop thinking like an employee, and you start thinking like a builder. And that shift is what separates people who stay stuck from POP, who move forward. This is where part 1 ends. But this is also where your journey begins. Because in the next part, we're going deeper. We're talking about scaling your income, investing smartly, and building real wealth. So if you're serious about changing your life, don't just listen. Start right now. Comment start from zero and commit to the process. Because this time, you're not guessing. You're following a blueprint.